Take two. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Coffee Run Live. It is me on Monday, no Tuesday. What a crazy old week it feels like it's going to be already. Hope you all had a very happy and safe Easter and you got some time to chill out a little bit and relax and rejuvenate and recover and all of that type of thing. If you can hear me, please let me know that you've got me on this fine Tuesday. What I wanted to talk with you a little bit about today is how you can really help your audience with kind of, like diagrams, models, processes. I've talked to quite a few of my clients over the last week about different ways of being able to articulate what it is that they're noticing. And the reason we want to do this is that our audience often feel like they're alone, like they're not good enough, like they don't know what to do, how to do it, where to go. And they often feel like it's just them. So I was having a conversation with a lady this morning who said, I felt really bad because I just spent, I spent half of the weekend in bed. And I said, well, you know what, maybe that's actually a good thing because like running on adrenaline, trying to get all of these new processes under your belt for a lot of mental health professionals, allied health professionals. A lot of you guys are transitioning from doing things in person to using telehealth and trying to navigate Medicare and, all of the other things that you're trying to do. It's a freaking nightmare. For those of you who are in the world of helping people, particularly in person, you're looking at having to learn a whole different skill set of being able to come up online, whether it's about trying to look okay when you're on camera, whether it's around dealing with your backgrounds, whether it's around managing and mitigating your household. There are so many different things right now that are being thrown at us. And I think one of the things that particularly those of us who are A-type personalities, very used to over-functioning, right? I'm an over-functioner. I'm the kind of person that when thrown into a stressful environment or a stressful situation, I'm the kind of person that kind of like digs in. I'm like, right, what can I do? How can I do it? How can I help? What can be fixed? Who do I need to call in? Who do I need to rally? Okay, what are we doing? Right? And that kind of makes all of your adrenal glands overproduce adrenaline, obviously. So if you're running on adrenaline constantly, particularly at the moment where a lot of us are in like fight, flight, or freeze mode, and the thing that we can see, or the thing that we know, is that so many people just kind of go, I feel like this is not normal. So I had a conversation with a girlfriend of mine. We were chatting about COVID and I was asking her opinion on some different things because it's not the kind of conversation that her and I would usually talk about. And it's not about, like we generally talk about our lives and what's going on and business and stuff. And I was like, what's your opinion on this? I'm really kind of curious because I'm quite opinionated on various different things in regards to COVID. And, I don't know. I don't think we're being told the whole story for a big chunk of all of this. Hello, mother. And nice to see you. And I think that the conversation that her and I had was kind of different to normal. And it got me thinking about how we'll often go through assuming a whole bunch of things, right? So, and therefore thinking that everybody thinks the same or that everybody thinks differently to us. So I think one of the big things that you can do for your people is to really consider, well, like what have you been noticing? So chatting to a lady today, and we're talking about normalization, right? So we're talking about helping your audience feel like they are not a freak, that they are not alone, and that what they're going through is really very, very normal. And in fact, it's a trauma response, right? It's a trauma response. So the stages that I have noticed what people are going through, it's kind of like the first stage is like, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want to do, right? And that's how a lot of us kind of reacted, I think, when we saw like this sort of stuff start to play out, the COVID stuff, whether it's the lockdowns or the social distancing. And I know for me, I was like, this doesn't seem like it's as serious or as bad as what they're all making it out to be. Let's just carry on. And then they notched in the next kind of level of restrictions and things like that. It's like, oh, stage 2. Oh no, I can't do what I want. So we tend to feel out of control, right? We tend to overfunction or underfunction at this level. It's like we either pull our heads under the covers and we're like, no, I'm not going to listen. Or we come out and it's like, right, what can I do? And then the next thing is that the third stage that I've noticed people go on and into is like where they'll obsess and almost fixate on things. And I think this is where or they look for something to do. So it could be a project, it could be learning, it could be like they kind of go, they go boots and all in. It's like a full immersion. So whether it's about buying a whole bunch of courses, whether it's learning a new language, whether it's going and knitting, whether it's renovating, I'm the renovator. So, you know, they go through that stage, and then it kind of gets into stage 4, which is the resignation around, well, you know, this is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But kind of we're still a little bit rebellious, or a little bit like, yeah, it is what it is, but, you know, grumble. And then stage 5 is getting into acceptance of what it is and starting to make the best of things. Stage 6 is it becomes the new normal. And stage 7 is where we start to thrive. And I really feel like that's my observation, right? And obviously, you know, we're not quite in that stage 6 yet, although I think it is getting to be like that. We've got my kids are starting remote schooling tomorrow, and that's going to be interesting. And, you know, it will become this new normal. I don't think we'll go back to the way that we were. And then stage 7 is that, you know, we want to thrive. A lot of us will thrive. So how that becomes helpful, right? So there's the 7 stages of how people react in these kinds of times, in change, right? So what are you noticing in your people? You know, what stages can you help to articulate? And if you've been talking to clients, you will know that there is that kind of like a certain way that most people are going through. So can you document that? Can you write that down? Can you create a picture about what that might look like? So when I say a picture, what I'm kind of thinking is this. Now, I'm a very good artist, and if I see my pictures around the internet without you crediting me, I am going to be very, very upset, because these are worth like their weight in gold. Let me give you the hot tip, right? So here's a picture. Stage 1 through 7. So it's like a ladder that people go up, right? You might have a picture that goes like this, that shows the different kind of phases where we go up and it's like, yeah, okay, and then we have a little dip, we have a momentary like lapse in our confidence or clarity or motivation, and then something happens as a trigger, and then we kind of kick back in, and like that. Something that I used to draw a lot around the like with the stages in business, because I was like, screw the roller coaster, man, that sucks, was the ladder of success. So a bit more like that. So we have a step across. Sometimes we have to come backwards, recalibrate, and there's usually something that happens here that forces us to come up, and then we might have a little bit of a rest, and then there's something else that happens and we have some growth, and so on and so forth. But sometimes, as you can see, we can have these really steep bits of growth and a bit of a plateau, and then sometimes things can kind of come backwards. So this could be where, like at the moment, right? So use COVID at the moment, where a lot of us have experienced a decline in sales in our businesses. I have. It's just, you know, that's just how it is. It's kind of expected. You know, I'm honest sometimes at the expense of myself, I think, at times, but you know, there's no other way to be, right? So sometimes we can have this really big kind of pullback, and we might experience a bit of a plateau. But what we know is that there's usually going to be a big upsurge in growth, so long as you don't take the foot off the pedal, right? So there's some different imagery that you could create that can explain your thinking. Now, why is this important? Well, a lot of people are visual, right? So a lot of people need to see, like with my ladder, kind of like 1 through 7, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like we're climbing a ladder. Sometimes you have to go back a rung to be able to come up 2 rungs, right? So it's like a ladder. And then for your people, maybe it makes sense, like showing those pictures. Visual people really love to see an image. The other thing with this is that there is probably through what I've noticed, maybe 75% of people really love data, and they love to be able to see the process of what that data means, what that information means. So if you're able to show them an image that represents your thinking and your theory, then I think it helps people to kind of go, oh yeah, that really makes sense. So if you imagine, for mine, it's like the 7 rungs, right? So the first rung is like, screw this, that song, like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And then number 2 is like, oh no, I can't do what I want, I have to do what you tell me, feeling out of control. We go into overfunction, underfunction mode. Number 3, we find a project or something that we can obsess on and think about and fixate on. Stage 4, so the 4th ladder is a resignation that this is how it is. Stage 5 is the acceptance of what is and start making the best of things. 6 is the new normal. 7 is when we thrive. So if you imagine that each of those stages are going up the rungs of a ladder, everybody can imagine a ladder, right? So it makes it really easy for people to go, oh yeah, that makes sense. And we're getting stronger. We're moving upwards. We're moving towards our goals, even if it looks a little bit different. So the thing that I want to leave you with and encourage you with today is to think about how you can use the patterns that you're seeing with your clients in your marketing. How can you use the patterns, whether it's around conversations? I would be documenting the types of conversations you're having, the problems your people are talking to you about, and having some way of being able to capture that information so that you can then use it in your marketing, which is your live streams, your posts, your blogs, anything that you're producing, so that people can go, oh, I can see that. I feel normal. It's okay. It's okay for me to feel like I'm putting my head under the covers. It's okay for me to, feel like I need to take some time out. Because here's the thing, we can beat ourselves up over the things that we do or don't do. And the fact of the matter is that all of us, every single one of us, are experiencing a trauma response right now. And it's about how you recover and recuperate from that. Some of us overfunction and some of us need to sleep for a whole weekend. It is what it is. So that is my little live for you today. I trust that that's helpful. If you have any questions on that, let me know. I'm assuming that you can all hear me, but I can't read your comments. So you're either not talking to me, which will really be very, very heartbreaking, or you are commenting and I just can't see it. So I don't know what the go is. I can't even see who is on live. Let's hope we've got people on live this morning. So there you go, my friends. Have a really fantastic, awesome, and amazing day. Get out there, go help some people, do whatever you can, and remember the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. I will talk to you very, very soon.